Hello everybody, it's Chris here, and today we're going to be talking about 10 FIFA games that are actually worth some money. As some of you know, whether you're retro games collectors, last gen collectors, or even modern collectors, most FIFA games aren't worth very much money unless it's the most latest game out. Even then, it's still not a massive value compared to what the game costs, £40 or £50. So all the games we'll be going through today are all box variants of them. Some of them you can get loose in cart, but we won't mention them. And I won't also mention the most recent FIFA games. So I won't include the current gen, FIFA 21 on the PS5. I won't include that in the drop down. So like I said before, most FIFA games are not worth a couple of pounds. Even if you go back to the retro stuff, which I'll talk about first on the Mega Drive. Like I've got the first three. So this was the first FIFA they brought out on the Mega Drive and various other platforms, Super Nintendo. 95 and 96. Even these retro games that are now 25, 30, nearly 30 years old, these are only worth £3 or £4 each still after all those years. But there are exceptions on the Mega Drive. I do have all 5. They brought out 5 FIFA games on the Mega Drive. So I have 7, which is about a £10 game, and I have 8. So that was the last one they brought out in the system, and you'll notice that a lot on this video. That a lot of games they brought out the last version of the game on the system tends to be where all the money is. So the Mega Drive, it was 98 and so on and so forth. So we'll go through them all. So like I say, there are money in FIFA games. You've just got to be probably only 5 or 10% of all the FIFA games they've brought out on all the consoles are worth anything. So we'll start off. At number 10. So number 10 is FIFA 64 on the N64. This in its box. All these prices are rough estimates. I've looked on sold listings and places like CX. So this goes for about £10. You'll see the picture there. So it's FIFA 64 boxed on the N64. Next up is FIFA, the original FIFA, so 1994. This is time it's on the Mega CD. So box complete, you'd be expecting to pay about £10. Well, the value is about £10 for this game. Next up is a game, like I mentioned before, was the very last of its run. So next up is FIFA 14 on the PSP. This game obviously was the last one they released on the PSP. Expect to pay or expect to get about £15 for this game. Crazy, think. On any other console, FIFA 14's a couple of pounds, stick it in the bin. But PSP is about a £15 game. Next up is on the Game Gear. So this is the original FIFA again. This on the Game Gear boxed. Expect to pay about £20, around about £20. So good money for a FIFA game. We're already a lot higher than I expected it, or most people expect it to be, and we're only at number 7. So number 8 on the list is FIFA 13. This came out on the PS2. So this is the second to last FIFA they brought out on the PS2. FIFA 13 is about £18, £20 game. Definitely look at it when you're going in charity shops or you're at car boot sales. FIFA 13 on the PlayStation 2, you're expected to get about £18, £20. Next up is a PS3 game. So this is FIFA 18 on the PS3. So FIFA 18, it's not the last one they released. We'll get to that in a minute. But this is FIFA 18 on the PlayStation 3. You're currently expected to pay around about 20 quid or get about 20 quid if you're looking to sell it. So that's great. That's only a couple of generations back. So there are games that are out there. Obviously, like I said before, when it gets to the end of a cycle of a console, it's the last couple that everybody's after. So that's FIFA 18 on the PlayStation 3, comes at number 5. Number 4 comes in as a PlayStation 2 game. So this is FIFA 14. This was the last one they brought out in the PlayStation 2. There are legacy versions. I think legacy is one I found. Expect to pay about £30. Yes, that's right. £30 for a FIFA game on a PlayStation 2. Like I said, it's the last one they brought out, and it's the one everybody wants, and it's the hardest one to find. So that's PlayStation 2, FIFA 14. So my top 3. First up, we have FIFA 96 on the Game Gear. From what I can see, they only brought out 2 FIFA games on the Game Gear. The one before, which was the original FIFA, was further down in my list. But 96 on the Game Gear box is really hard to get. Really hard to get. And if you're lucky enough to find it, expect to pay around £30, £35 for it. And that's £30 for a Game Gear FIFA game. It's unbelievable. FIFA 96 comes in on the Game Gear at number 3. Number 2 is FIFA 19 on the PS3. This has shot up massively in price. I didn't check for the 360, but I presume it's around about the same price. This is obviously, as a lot of people who still have PlayStation 3s, and this is the last one they released on it. So FIFA 19, there are no more FIFAs on the PS3 after this. Expect to pay around about £40. But the price I checked again was for the legacy version, but £40 for a FIFA game. If you go back FIFA 10 at PS3, £1, 50p if you're lucky. So only a couple of years, even, 15, 16, don't worry about it. It's when you get in the high teens is when the money starts to come for FIFA games. Especially on the PS3, expect to pay about £40. And number 1 on my list of the most expensive FIFA game you can get is FIFA 96 on the Sega 32X boxed. Again, for most games on the Sega 32X boxed are expensive anyway, because they only brought a few out. So FIFA 96 is probably one of the cheaper ones for the system. Expect to pay around £40–50 for your copy on the 32X of FIFA 96. So thank you very much for watching. What did you think? I've been wanting to do this video for ages now. I've kept putting it off, but I finally had some time, so I've managed to get it done and just prove that not all FIFA games are worthless. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.